Aloha, I am Mary with Wisdom AI. I'm going to talk today about voice to text and how it works so that you understand when it goes wrong, who to blame. It's kind of complicated, actually. The reason I'm aware of this is I follow somebody I love to watch on YouTube called The Tarot Ship with Jimmy. He talks about tarot and astrology. He's amazing. I love him. Then he just developed a spin-off where he is developing like an AI-based app for a paid for a subscription service to interpret astrology and horoscopes like using AI. So he's been talking on his channel about how he has paid a lot of developers to do this, and so I'm kind of aware, like in the background, like that's what's going on. So I paid for his subscription service because I think he's fantastic and I love him and I want to support him, and it's great. He gives great content. Check it out, greatawakener.com. Well, I noticed when I wanted to comment on one of his posts, because he does like live streams and lessons and classes and all that stuff, he was talking about the earthquake in Russia earlier this year, like in July. There was like an 8.8 earthquake on the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia. Big deal. Set tidal waves, blah, blah, blah. He's been predicting this as a psychic for a while, but he says that's not the one that he's thinking of. Anyway, you can tune in to Jimmy if you want to know Jimmy's thoughts on this. But I made a comment using voice to text, which I use all the time on my iPhone and on Google Chrome, on my Microsoft Windows-based laptop, desktop. And voice to text has gotten really good. It used to be it could not understand what I was saying as a woman with a soft voice for the life of me. Like, it was useless to me. Until what's happened lately is you have the native app that's like on your phone or on Windows on your desktop, and it's capturing the sound of your voice. And then something in addition to that has to make sense of that, and that making sense of that is where AI has like really improved voice to text, because it takes the sounds and then it runs it through a large language model to be like, oh, what makes sense? Does that make sense to put the word, next to this other word, or is there a better word that has a higher probability of sitting next to this other word that you would be better? And so what you'll notice like now with your phone, usually iPhone, Google, I'm sure they're good at this, and definitely with Chrome on my Microsoft Windows system, they're very good at this. They're running it through that secondary AI-based scrubbing app, and they're cleaning up the words. So what happened on Jimmy's site, poor Jimmy, I'll tag him. I don't know if he's ever going to watch me, but is that when I started talking in the comments about the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, his app was transcribing it as the Kumshot Club. Now, I'm going to have to watch my transcript because I know that I do not want those words showing up in my transcript. Kumshot Club. Really? 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 So I was like, well, that's weird, and then I started testing it because I'm a scientist and that's what I do. So I went onto Google Chrome and I said Kamchatka, and it said Kamchatka. Or there were some other variations, like I can paste a Google Doc if you're interested. Hit me up in the comments. And I thought, and then, I did all this testing, and then I asked Gemini, because I always ask Gemini, because I think Google makes really good products. So I asked Gemini, like, what's going on here? Like, why would my phone get it, but when I'm recording a comment on my phone on an external developer app, have it translated as Kumshot Club? Sounds like somebody didn't, like, scrub the text for bad words that they didn't want in their content. And indeed, I'm pretty sure being Dr. Reeves, because I have a PhD in ecology, but I've done a lot of work with this stuff, that is indeed what happened, is that, and this speaks to my views on AI safety. When you have big companies like Google and Microsoft and people who have $1 billion to spend on safety because they're making $1 billion doing these other things, they have the people in-house who have time and money and energy to like go in and make sure that when you speak into your phone, it is not coming out with words like Kamchatka Club. Jimmy's paying, probably 5 to 10 developers, if that, who he's contracting through who knows where, and they're taking a large language model and they're training it on top of it. So I've talked about this in other speeches, and I'll take the link and paste it below if you want to like know a little bit more about where I'm coming from here. But when you take an open source model and train on top of it, and you don't have enough money, you don't have the budget, you don't have the time, you don't have the ability within your team to scrub for safety, this is what happens. Kamchatka, a peninsula in Russia that had an earthquake in July, is now in the comments under my name as Kamchatka Club. And so I have concerns about these things. And it has to do with the amount of resources we need to develop the system safely and ethically. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for listening to me. Mahalo nui.